You will fall in love with me. You will take me away from this place.
Full disclosure, news and commentary number 118, 118, 118, 118, 118. Me and Van Dam got it. Look at Van Dam on my shirt. He got it. I got it. Van Dancing with the Stars. Oof. I got the fresh cut. Person went a little wild. Gave me the little foof. I don't hate it, though. I don't hate it, though. Welcome to Full Disclosure. Coming out a little late today. I'm just getting back to, I'd say I'm about 75% tomorrow. Leaving for Miami, Papi. Bunch of stuff going on. Yes, I still went to No Peace Underground last night. We're going to talk about that just a little bit. I'm also going to write an article based on what I saw instead of a show report. All right. First, see what I'm saying? I'm going to do this unboxing. Blam. I'm excited. I still love that people send me stuff. It's such a wonderful, wonderful thing. Let me look at the note. No note, just an order slip. All right. I'm going to reveal it to you the same time it gets revealed to me and you. Yeah, Cobra Kai, baby, with the Street Fighter 2 look. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Baby, that's the first thing I'm packing to go to Miami. Bam, put that right on top of my suitcase. Dude, who got that for me? That's an amazing... And if you have been sleeping on Cobra Kai, I don't know what to tell you. You're an idiot. Watch Cobra Kai. It's freaking great. Dude, the stuff that people get me, my God. Pro South pulling off a good show and still getting good crowds in there. The thing about Harley joining Tyler Culprit and dressing like him. Dude, how great is that shit? It does beg a question. And we're going to talk about this on Tipping Point. By the way, Tipping Point tomorrow night, we're going to be talking to Owen Knight, a guy who's been doing big shit and is going to do more big shit coming up. We're going to talk to Owen Knight, which I'm looking forward to. And Larry and I are going to have Rob Rod on, and we're going to have a discussion about the awards so far. Let me propose this, just because I don't want to get caught in some discussion. Is there a tighter race for feud of the year right now between Todd Sexton's group and David Mander's group? That is one feud. And Ace Haven and Tyler Culprit. That feud's ridiculous. Those guys worked each other in multiple promotions, making it happen. I know they're doing big shit in Southern Honor. We're going to talk a lot about that show. That's going to be the focus of a lot of this show. Between talking about Southern Honor and at least 2 or 3 rants lined up and a crazy freaking commentary on... And I have to thank people for bringing up this phrase to me, recency bias. So I looked into what that was because somebody used it in a conversation we were having. And I thought I knew what it was by context clues, and I ended up being right, but I did look it up. Recency bias and something else that needs to be definitely talked about. But if I say the word, you're going to kind of know where it's going, or you're going to think you're going to know. But it's going to be a different take in any case. So, Pro South doing that great stuff. Southern Fried drawing 300 in a show that I actually got to see because they send me the footage of their stuff. So I watched it. That crowd was crazy into a lot of shit. Crazy into it. And keep in mind that the shows I've gone to here lately have been were pro wrestling action, where that crowd was so fucking hyped for everything. Brawl USA, where they're just a loud, boisterous crowd, to No Peace, which had some of the like craziest, sickest, and I mean that in that very sense of the word, moments that I have witnessed in a, I can't say a wrestling ring because there are no ring show, in a wrestling show. I mean, I will not forget the sound of Mickey Knuckles hitting Sawyer Wreck in the head with a beer bottle, and that beer bottle not breaking. Tunk! And the look on me and the other dude's faces of like, holy shit. And then seeing Sawyer Wreck return fire on Mickey Knuckles, who's out of motherfucking control. I can only tell you this about Mickey Knuckles. That's my first time seeing Mickey Knuckles live. I don't know how that is possible, but that was my first time seeing Mickey Knuckles live. And I felt so inspired by it that I'm going to write a piece. I'm tentatively titling Johnny Valentine, New Jack, and Mickey Knuckles, to give you some idea of the crazy take I'm going to have. That's three interesting characters, right? Johnny Valentine, New Jack, and Mickey Knuckles. And I'm going to make you... And there's a number of ways that the three of their worlds interweave in. I'm going to let you figure that out, but I'm going to write that piece, I think. I got to say this too. Sawyer Wreck, I was already in love, and now I'm just even more so. Seeing Sawyer Wreck return fire on Mickey Knuckles and deal with that shit on multiple levels and making it happen, I was mad impressed. And some new guys, you know, Hardway Heater, Bam Sullivan, really blown away by. And then getting to meet EC3 again, because he was the big finale of the No Peace show. And then afterwards we saw each other. Interesting stuff. GIPW, this was from June 27th, Rob Rod's report. 85 people saw that bad boy. Pro Wrestling Circuit sent the information about their crowd size to Larry, which was they had 300 plus 40 drawn, plus 40 comped, excuse me. So 340, we'll call that 340. I do appreciate the fact that people are putting paid, comped, because that certainly matters. But just know if you're willing to do that and you're willing to be honest, and I trust Tommy Pitts with this kind of thing, I'm just going to total that bitch up for you. It's 340. Excellent. Let's rant number one. Speaking of Pro Wrestling Circuit, they used to have a working relationship with a face-to-face, the name that I made fun of for over a year, face to face. But you'll notice that I haven't done it lately because Simon Sermon was help running their training school. And I respect Simon, and clearly he was doing a good job. And but Simon's schedule, because he's got a real life and he's incredibly busy and he's incredibly good at what he does in real life, in his shoot job, brother. God, I fucking hate wrestling people sometimes. My shoot job, brother. What are you doing at your shoot job, brother? Shoot job. Fuck your mothers. Fuck you if you're somebody who uses the phrase shoot job without a hint of irony. Fuck you. And you're like, Steve, that's not reasonable. Did I say this was fucking reasonable? No, just fuck you. And I think if people are really hearing me, They agree. Hear me say that again. If somebody uses the phrase shoot job without irony or even just a little hint of irony about it, fuck them, right? Yeah, you agree. Fuck you. All right. But face to face, and that owner, was it Richard or some shit? That guy's just a fucking know-nothing piece of shit. This is what I'm arriving at. So I was sure whenever problems arose betwixt him and Tommy Pitts, my inclination, and I must apologize to him for this, though I never stated it publicly, my first inclination was, what did fucking Tommy Pitts do? Because Tommy Pitts can be kind of a hard-headed, hot-headed motherfucker. However, after hearing the facts of the case, I quickly determined, this face-to-face guy's got some issues. And it turns out his issues are even worse than that. So Simon Sermon in this past week has said he's going to have nothing to do with them anymore. And the reason is because the face-to-face schmuck was taking advantage of the fact that Simon was doing such a great job as a trainer when he could come in and do it. And Simon said he wanted to give them a regular, to let the students know, give them a heads up when Simon was going to be there and when he was not going to be there. Now, that was a problem for the Richard guy because the Richard guy doesn't know shit about wrestling. So if Simon wasn't there, then it was Richard who would run the practices. Sure, as a guy who's never done it or never fucking trained in it, why shouldn't he do it? But that's okay, folks, because when it was his time to run practice, what he would do is read from Dr. Tom Pritchard's book on wrestling training. This fuck would read from a book to the wrestling students and trainees. And have them do drills that he would read in the book. Do this and... Am I wrong? Does somebody from fucking face to face want to dispute anything I'm saying? I don't think you do. And so, this dickhead from face to face told Simon, don't tell people when you're going to be there and when you're not. Just be there when you can. That way, the students would continue to show otherwise because they wouldn't know if Simon was going to be there or not. Because they wanted Simon to train them. Adoy. And Simon, by the way, did a great job as a trainer. I've had multiple people back that shit up. Simon, by the way, who did all of this gratis. Right? And the face-to-face guy, after many times implying that he was just going to close the school no matter what, then saw once Simon kind of took over training things and things started going better and students wanted to start coming back, realized that he could use Simon as his lure to get students who stopped going there but perhaps owed him some money to come back, but only if he would give them the money that they owed first. So he's just a real kind of insidious, low down... Read from a book, folks. Could you imagine walking into your wrestling people? I'm speaking to you. Could you imagine walking into a fucking training thing? And then there's some fucking dickhead reading from a book and run across the ring and then, kind of vault over the top rope to the left side of the book. End of rant. I bet you didn't think you were going to fucking hear that on full disclosure. Can you believe that shit? Fucking disgraceful. And I hate to say I told you so, because I didn't. But I will say, when I picked that name, face to face, to make fun of, boy, am I right. If you got a shit-tastic name, chances are it's gonna be shit-tastic. Face to face. Fucking face to my fucking anus, you human centipede motherfucker. Oh, nice. Yes. Yes. I too am ready for Halloween season. Speaking of fucking dipshits, okay, KLT. All right. We're going to talk about the good part, then I'm going to talk about the bad part, then I'm going to talk about the good part. So the good part, that fucking Sports Illustrated fucking online article that focused on GIPW and fucking Skrilla in particular, but also mentioned and had pictures of a bunch of other guys. I'll tell you how good that article made me feel reading it, is that I found this perfect screen capture where I would have been able to make fun of Eric Silva and two other guys that were in the picture, because I got this perfect picture of them on top of the right ad on the digital thing, and I was going to put this meme, and then I was like, I don't want to take away from the moment. I had a perfect fucking comical meme, and I said, I'm going to give this a stay of execution because I don't want to shit on this moment. That's how much I like that article. Believe it's been more than a week, so a fucking meme is coming. But because I respected that article, and I respected how it made the guys feel, and I respected the quote from fucking Matt Hankins most of all. It was nice to get a little bit of, because everything in that was fucking true, and it was lovely. And KLT trying to take some kind of rant number 2. It's one thing to say, congratulations to the guys for the article. You can find many of them here at KLT. But KLT implying that they did something to contribute to the success of the people in that article, fuck you. In fact, this is my rant, and it's long overdue. There is a fuckload. I'm in a swearing mood. Hopefully my neighbors aren't hearing this shit, but they'll just think that's that crazy fucking white boy, but who's really nice to the fucking, who buys ice cream for his kids and all the kids in the neighborhood when the ice cream man comes by. There's a time where that statement wouldn't have sounded ominous. What the fuck has our world become, people? I don't know. In any case, fuck. There is a fuckload of difference between booking somebody and them getting success later and developing that talent. And we have forgotten the difference between that shit. I am so fucking tired of people trying to take credit. I'm talking promoters and bookers and promotions trying to take credit for the success of the fucking wrestlers that they had no hand in developing, but merely booked. And yes, putting somebody in a good match once in a while or a decent angle doesn't develop them. It's what you're supposed to be fucking doing. It's not above and beyond shit. There's a fuckload of difference between people and promotions that actually fucking help teach guys, and ones that just provide a place to work, and even ones that provide a good place to work. Is that important to have a good place to fucking work and ply your trade in a safe ring? Of course that's important. Is that the same as you being able to fucking claim some shit because so-and-so walked in the fucking door, or you booked somebody when they're on the come up and then they got signed later, or then they worked some kind of bigger indie and then you're like, see, we did that. We're sending guys on and doing a fuck you. And there's smart people who have fallen into this fucking logic. Allow me to debunk. There is a fuckload of difference between booking somebody in the hopes and anticipation that they'll make it, or that happen to make it and taking credit for some kind of shit, and actually helping to develop a person. And you know what I find most interesting of all? The ones that actually develop and help teach and provide learning platforms are never, or perhaps very rarely, ones who are quick to snatch credit for it, publicly or privately. This whole bullshit, and I'm going to start making that a fucking phrase. Booking, basically, having somebody in your promotion is not the same as developing them. I'm going to throw that up as an argument whenever I read some asinine bullshit in fucking public from now on. And I would be very happy if other people did the same. And you tell them Stephen Platinum sent you with a fucking red hot poker to shove up their ass. Yay, end of rant 2. Fucking bullshit, right? Does that not cause some tumblers to fucking fall in place in your head and go like, that's what bothered me about so-and-so and such. That's what bothered me about that fucking KLT shit. There's a way to phrase something where you can congratulate somebody on success that they had without trying to take some kind of fucking credit for it. And not to mention putting in their weak plug of, we're the number one promotion. No, you're not. KLT is not the number one promotion. Even if they drew the most, which they don't. They are not. Are they the worst? No. Should they be proud of the fact that they draw a crowd in the 300s? Sure. Did they do a big, humongous house for the Superstars Fan Fest, not featuring Sting? Yes. But is that Sting a shit show? Yes. Doesn't mean there aren't people on the show that aren't good. Folks, I did plenty of shows when I actively wrestled on shows that were not very good, but I was the good thing on them. Or there was a group of us that were very good on an otherwise shit show. It's called wrestling. My God. By the way, a new patron, William Huckabee, who posed an interesting question, which I left an open-ended answer because it's something I actually wanted to think about and mull over. Boy, wouldn't I love to see more of that. People thinking and mulling things over instead of just snapping answers. Because the mood I'm in is inspired by the dumb fucks I've had to read about. Wrestlers and fans both. And people who are supposed to know better. And that's gonna take up most of the commentary part, so I'm not going to go too deep into it here. Is there anything else I wanted to yell about before I start yelling in the commentary? No. But William Huckabee joined. Oh, yeah. But he proposed this interesting thing. Could tag teams be Wrestler of the Year? So I thought about it, and it did open up this idea of, I think a tag team could be Most Improved. I do think this notion that maybe a tag team could be other categories. But because there is a tag team or faction award, I think that is the exclusive prop. I would never say, well, a solo wrestler, even if he does 3 different gimmicks, could not be a tag team or, that's my distinction that I make, right? So could a tag team be Wrestler of the Year? No. But could a tag team be Most Improved? Yes. If we had a face or a heel award, could a tag team? Yes. Which we don't. Could a tag team win any of the possible categories beyond? Could you be Technical Wrestler of the Year? Yes, if you had a highly proficient technical tag team. Technical excellence. Sorry. Would I balk at technical excellence being nominated for Technical Wrestler of the Year? No. I would make the distinction between Wrestler of the Year and Tag Team Stable of the Year. I don't think those two should mix. But beyond that, I would be open, and this is just me talking. I would be open for a tag team being up for Most Improved. I would be up for a tag team having a promo of the year, most certainly. Or being part of a feud of the year, or etc., etc., etc. Yeah. Cool. All right, commentary. What am I missing here on Raw? Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. God, Raw really hates you guys. Man, they hate you guys. They really hate you. I'm just... Look at how bad that looked. That suplex onto the announcer's table. So bad. All right. Commentary. Recently, Nick of the Tapped Out podcast posed a heavily weighted question that he was trying to pretend was an open-ended one. That was basically like, David Ali, based on his performance in the last 2 shows I saw, is he far and away the wrestler of the year and there's not even a close fucking second? In the fucking attorney game, they would call that a leading fucking question with a bias, right? And of course, the design of the question was to get resounding yeses, which he did, and a ton of likes from people that should fucking know better. And so I weighed in. But this conversation did jar things in my brain, and other people contacted me about it and how much they enjoyed what I said when I leapt in and all that kind of stuff. And it brought to in light a couple of things. And so I feel the need to fucking put my foot down on this shit and explain myself as clearly as I fucking can. We didn't talk about fucking Southern Honor. I am not going to do them that disrespect. I'm going to talk about Southern Honor, and then we're going to jump into this shit. So before the commentary, Southern Honor. 343, another significant drop. Right, they were at 343. What is it about 343? I'm beginning to think some number's bullshit. Because it was 343, and then it was over 4, now it's 343 again. Feels like bullshit. I'm not saying that it's too low or whatever. I'm just saying, like, that's kind of a crazy coincidence, no? How did the show fucking look? Looked fucking awesome. And when I read the descriptions of shit, I went, that's fucking amazing. And I really liked it. And it felt like they were booking heat. And the Cyrus thing was really cool. And it was fun to see fucking Logan Chase get fucking stupid and weird. And, you know, Southern Honor, I mean, as much as Gary Lamb was thumping his chest about summer stuff doesn't, well, unless it is true, and then we don't talk about it. Of course, we don't talk about it. But they got August, which is Rumblejack, which is one of their big things, right? August, September, and then October, which they were going to draw 1,000. We'll see. I would hope that Rumblejack would do very well, because they've definitely done a good job in what feels like a very short amount of time as of establishing Rumblejack as a fucking thing. I think, that's definitely happened. I go out of my way to watch the Rumblejack every year. So, pretty great. So, it will be interesting to see. But about that Southern Honor show, because it dovetails into the commentary. So, back to the commentary. This recency bias of, well, David Ali is clearly far and away the number 1 wrestler of the year. Nobody else is close. One, any Southern Honor exclusive person who says that, go fuck your mother, because you don't know what's going on anywhere else and you don't care to know. So then it just becomes an excuse to rah-rah. For wrestlers that are saying it, especially those who have been carried in the ring by the likes of Michael Judas, fuck you. You should take it as an insult, wrestlers, that the implication is David Ali is head and shoulders and so far away above what everybody else is doing. What the fuck are you talking about? I think David Ali, if he was being honest with himself, would be a little embarrassed at that designation, because he would know that there's elements of that are bullshit. I'm not saying David Ali's not number 1. I'm not saying he's not going to win. I'm not saying that I don't think that he's fucking great. I'm not saying that I didn't fucking advocate for fucking David Ali to be most improved last year and haven't fucking trumpeted fucking David Ali for quite some time, in spite of fucking button heads with him a couple of years ago. But we're really going to fucking... All right, just to put it in perspective, what is it that you do in the wrestling business, person listening to this? Since most of the people who listen to this are wrestling people. And then I said, I picked whoever you thought was one of the top people doing what you do in particular. And I said, they're so much better than everybody else. There isn't even a close number two, including you. Doesn't feel so fucking good, does it? And you know why it doesn't feel good? Not because you're a snowflake and your feelings are hurt, but because it's not true. This shit's subjective. And to say there isn't a close number two, especially if you're a non-wrestler, fuck your mother. You fucking fan or a goddamn commentator. I am so tired of the thinly veiled fucking hatred of pro wrestlers from pro wrestling people. The thinly veiled disdain for pro wrestlers from fans and glorified smart fans that pretend they worship at the wrestler's feet. But we see examples all the time when shit slips out that they say of the real feelings that a lot of people involved in this orbit of Georgia wrestling really think about the wrestlers. There's this air of superiority, and I'm fucking smarter than all of them, but I can't really say it, so I'll do it in terms of advice, or I'll do it in terms of me fucking crowning somebody, or I'll do it in terms of whatever. And what I don't get is how other people don't see it until later. The quiet disdain that people have for most of the wrestlers, just because they're smart enough on the surface to say they respect the wrestlers so much. Then why don't they fucking show it? Why do they allow themselves to think and say shit out loud like, yeah, so-and-so's great and way better than what anybody else is doing? Fuck you. Because there's a lot of people who do a lot of great work. A lot of people in every one of these categories. And when Larry and I and Rob are talking about who are the front runners for the awards, our problem is going to be naming fucking, trying to keep the lists down because people are doing great shit. I brought up feud of the year, but there's a fucking dozen more that I could talk about, right? And it's happening from more places, and it's involving newer people because people are getting exposure and people are getting around to different feds, and there's more reports being written, and people are doing a better job promoting stuff on social media. These are all good things. And Myron was right about something. There are a lot of good shows happening in Georgia, and a lot of good shows have happened, but he was wrong about something because he used a word that everybody is using way too fucking much. And that's the second part of this thing, and that word is great. Fuck, folks, everything isn't great. I was, Southern Fried people told me that last show that drew 300. This show is great, Steve. It's great. It's great. I watched it. You know what it was? Good. With a couple of matches that went way too fucking long, and a couple that had botches, and a couple where I inexplicably didn't understand what the fuck was going on. That's not great. Doesn't mean it was bad. Doesn't mean the crowd didn't react. Well, the fans liked it. The dumbest fucking argument of all time, right? But that doesn't make it great. Quit fucking saying everything is great. Is it cool that Logan Chase got weird? Is it cool that he was in those fucking booty shorts and paid off a fucking angle and really literally fucking put his ass out there and ate shit and did that good comedy fucking manager shit? Yes. That makes him fucking manager of the year, you fucking dipshits. And see, you're going to force me to go in, but I have to fucking use this as an example. What's the great Logan Chase promo? Logan Chase has Cyrus, right? Scariest motherfucker. I've seen that clip of him doing that fucking twisting Vader bomb thing 1,000 fucking times because it's so fucking impressive. He can't get that motherfucking guy over? Manager of the fucking year? I'm not saying he's going backwards. That's a good move forward. It's funny. The stuff that he's doing with All-Star Special, it's cool. But now he's manager of the fucking... Folks, I'm going to say this and I'm going to get in trouble for it, but fuck you and then I'm out. There is a difference between Larry's opinion and most everybody else's. There's a goddamn difference between my opinion and most everybody else's. And if you don't know that by now, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. And I know that might hurt Rob's feelings or it might hurt Nick and Myron's feelings. Folks, they are fucking fans. They are fans that, by the way, have a kind of disdain. They're part of who I'm talking about. There's a kind of level of disdain there. But it's not an overt disdain of, I hate the wrestlers. But there's a definite air of superiority about what they write. And you're saying, but Steve, you come from this place, you're goddamn right. I come from the place of, I fucking have done it, earned it, trained it, made the mistakes. When I talk about deathmatch shit, it fucking matters. Because I've fucking done that shit. Okay? You have to admit, when you see Matt Griffin go, hey, does anybody have a field so we can do deathmatch? Does that not feel like the most fucking jump on the bandwagon, patronizing, just be part of a thing because it's hot thing? It's like the numerous wrestlers I say, like, I want to do a deathmatch. There's a disdain that you have to have for something to think that you can just do it and that you should just do it and it should just be okay. That there is no discipline. There is no discipline required for the knowledge you're purporting to have. And nowadays, people think you can just call something great, and it is. You can just say somebody has attained greatness because they did one thing that you liked, and it is because of recency bias. But it's fucking horseshit, and it's fucking dumb. Does that mean you can't have opinions? Of course you can. But it would be nice if wrestling people and wrestling fans and smart marks and all the rest of this could fucking learn a thing or two. And deal with their own bullshit. And it would be nice too if the wrestlers could be more discerning other than, if they stroke me, they're great. And if they don't stroke me, they're haters. Well, guess what? I'm fucking hater number one right here. But anybody with half a fucking brain in their head would tell you. But when I listened to Steve about the major shit he was telling me, he was fucking right. Even if they don't give me credit for it. And I can look at dozens on that one. Remember, just because you've lowered the bar doesn't mean you've surpassed the past, except in your own mind. This has been Full Disclosure.